What's the worst crime to be charged with? Most people would think that capital murder, that's murder where you're facing the death penalty, to be the worst charge you could face in Texas. Having practiced both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney for many years now, I disagree. The worst case that you can be charged with is continuous sexual assault of a child. And let me explain why. The punishment range for murder is 5 to 99 years or life. It's a first-degree felony, and under most circumstances, a first-degree felony is the highest level charge that you could face. Continuous sexual assault of a child, however, begins at 25 years in prison to life. Additionally, a prosecutor might agree under rare and unique circumstances to give you deferred or some sort of probated sentence on a murder charge. Probation and deferred adjudication are not allowed at all for continuous sexual assault charges. You can parole out on murder charges, so you'll have a sentence. At the halfway point, you can apply for parole and potentially get out early. If you're convicted of continuous sexual assault of a child and receive a sentence, you cannot parole out early. Every day of that sentence will be served if your charge was continuous sexual assault of a child. Think about it practically for a moment. If you're charged with murder, there's a dead body, and the state's trying to prove you're the one that did the killing. Understand, continuous sexual assault of a child charges often stem from nothing more than allegations. So if someone says that you touched them in a sexual manner before they turned 14, and you did so on 2 or more occasions, and those occasions were at least 30 days apart, you are facing the charge of continuous sexual assault of a child. Due to the passage of time, due to how quickly the body heals, due to often a delayed outcry or report, there is rarely corroborating evidence of this. Additionally, unlike a murder charge where you generally know the date that something is alleged to have occurred, for continuous sexual assault of a child, the child is allowed to be completely off on their dates. So they could say something happened in the summer of 2014, and the evidence that comes out at trial is that it happened in the winter of 2012. That will not give anyone pause. The judge, the prosecutor, it'll be legally sufficient evidence. But from a practical standpoint, think about how you go about defending something where the date can be amorphous, where the allegation doesn't require biological or physical proof, versus something that you can narrow down to a specific day and time, versus something that there's absolutely a dead body to point to. The other major distinction between charges like murder versus charges like sexual assault of a child is how the court system will treat you. Yes, everyone is presumed to be innocent, but what you're going to find is if you're charged with continuous sexual assault of a child, the judge will impose an incredible amount of conditions while you're out on bond, while you're presumed innocent, including things like a GPS monitor that requires you to stay in a particular geographic area, that keeps you away from child safety zones. You will likely be required to move from your home, particularly if there's anyone under the age of 17 that lives there, even if they're your own children. If you're charged with continuous sexual assault of a child, you're going to feel like the presumption of innocence has gone out the window, and you'll feel like everyone is treating you as if you were guilty before the case has even started. They say that allegations of child sexual abuse are some of the easiest accusations to make, and yet some of the hardest to defend. This video was made in response to questions that we've received on this channel in the past. If you have a criminal question that you'd like for us to answer, just drop a comment below and we'll be happy to answer that in a future video.